Hello, fellow peasants. Today I'll be ranking my top 10 films of all time. Alright guys, the moment has come. This is it. This is what we've all been waiting for. For some reason, I've been doing this channel for over 3 years and have never shared with you my top 10 films of all time. I've done top comedies, top action films, top slashers. I've done, top horror films. And for some reason, it just never dawned on me to do my top 10 films of all time. So here we go. Here you have it. These are the films that I can watch over and over and over again. And not that they don't have any problems, no issues. It's just these are films that for whatever reason, I can just pop on, watch them. I could watch them 5 times in a row. I could watch them every day of the week. I never get tired of watching these films. For whatever reason, I can really connect with them. And yeah, here they are. Number 10, Old School from 2003. This is one of my favorite comedies. This is obviously one of my favorite films of all time. I just feel that every minute in this movie, something funny is happening. I just really love the story here, where you get the 30-some-year-olds living on campus and starting this fraternity. And it's just every moment in the film is funny to me. Like there's almost not, like I don't think there's 5 minutes in this film. I don't think you can go 5 minutes in this film and not find something funny. Like, at least for me, like, to me, this is my favorite comedy of all time. I love Old School. If you've never seen Old School, go check it out, man. I mean, it's old. It's I almost said it's old school humor, but it is. They couldn't make Old School today. People are way too uptight and get offended too easy. But fuck them. Go watch Old School. Number 9 is Eyes Wide Shut from 1999, starring Nicole Kidman, Tom Cruise, and directed by Stanley Kubrick. This was his last film before he passed away. He died a couple weeks after releasing the film to Warner Brothers. And I just like the film, man. It's like almost like a trance. Like it puts you in this weird dreamlike state. And you don't really know where the film's going. Like as soon as it starts, you got this affluent couple going to this dinner party, this ball or whatever they're at, and something's off about their relationship, and then it just kind of ratchets up from there. And the whole film, you're just on edge. It's very tense. You don't know what's going on, and yeah, filled with mystery, filled with tension. And it's just the way that it's shot, the pacing, everything about it just gives this dreamlike state of, it's just a dreamlike experience, yeah. So I really dig it. Number 8 is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. This came out in 1996. This is my favorite Disney film of all time. I just love this film, guys. I love The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And even as a kid, when I first watched the film, I remembered thinking, whoa, okay, this is different. This is darker than the other Disney films. And I remember the animation being better too. I remember thinking, okay, not only is this like more serious in tone, is it darker, it also looks better. You can tell in some of the other animated films where they focus on certain aspects of the picture and other things are not done as well. I just think this film, every inch of the image is detailed and it looks great. And the acting in here is good. Songs like Hellfire. I mean, best villain song of all time. I think Frollo is the best Disney villain. He's a genocidal maniac who is conflicted with his religious beliefs and his admiration for a gypsy girl. And I think that he is somebody who's very dangerous and a very realistic villain. Probably the most realistic and evil villain that Disney has put to screen. Next, number 7 is Wall Street from 1987. I remember watching this for the first time in 2007, only 20 years after its release. And I just liked it. I liked the cutthroat. Oliver Stone really does do a good job of just giving you the end. Like, you're like a fly on the wall. If you've ever wanted to be a fly on the wall to like what happens in the homes of Wall Street executives and in the offices of Wall Street executives, and you want to know how the game is played, Oliver Stone was the first to do it ever, long before Martin Scorsese ever made Wolf of Wall Street. Okay, so if you want to watch like some old school 80s Wall Street corruption and insider trading and things like that, and you like Michael Douglas and you like Charlie Sheen, give this a watch. I just love everything about this film, from the story to the cinematography to the 80s atmosphere. It just bathes in that 80s corporate environment. It's great. Number 6 is Secret Window, starring Johnny Depp. This came out in 2004. And what I really like about this movie, though, I obviously like the story, and it is it's based on a Stephen King novel, but I find it a very relaxing film. I just like Johnny Depp just chilling in his cabin with his dog, and he's working on a book, and you have the mystery of like, okay, so who's John Shooter? Who's this guy coming to his house saying you stole my story and all that? So there's a mystery here, but you also just have this great environment, this cabin, woodsy environment, and then you got Johnny Depp, playing the lead, and so I just find it a great thriller and a relaxing film at that. So yeah, Secret Window. Number 5, 1 Hour Photo, was starring Robin Williams. This came out in 2002. I'll never forget the first time I watched this film. It was the first time that I had seen Robin Williams in a serious role. No, I take it back. I had seen What Dreams May Come before this, but he was still somewhat of an optimistic guy in What Dreams May Come. He was still kind of happy, and he just had to go to hell to get his wife back in that film. In this, he is the opposite of everything you've ever seen in any role he's played before. He's a middle-aged guy, if not older, who is a technician at a 1 hour photo operation at a big box store, and he's lonely, and he lives vicariously through the photographs of the suburban family, and he becomes attached to them. He watches them grow up through the photographs, the kids, and he and then at one point something happens where someone else brings some photos in, and he ties a couple things together, and he realizes, oh, the family that I thought was perfect is not so perfect after all. And so yeah, so that's a little bit of a spoiler there, so I'm not going to get into that. But when you watch that film, man, Robin Williams is just on another level. It is my favorite Robin Williams film. I just find it to be so intriguing to watch this. It was like, it's another one of those like lonely dude films. It's kind of like Taxi Driver in a way, which I just saw recently. So if you like Taxi Driver, you like films about people that are, character studies almost of depression or isolation and things like that, I think you would really like 1 Hour Photo. So if you like Robin Williams and you like Taxi Driver, check out 1 Hour Photo. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Number 4, Sleepy Hollow, directed by Tim Burton, starring Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci. Yes, it's come out in 1999. Love this film. What can I say? I watch it every fall, and the atmosphere is where this film is at. This film, Tim Burton is a master at atmosphere, and this film is no exception. I just want to live in Sleepy Hollow. I just wish I could just move to the set they filmed this on. It's just bathed in just this gothic, cold, late fall, early winter. Leaves are on the ground, just cold. It's a really cool atmosphere to be in. So like, that's the main reason I watched the film. Yes, the story's cool. I like the Headless Horseman and all of that, but just the environment, just that fall, winter, creepy environment. It's just really cool to enjoy that time of the year. So yeah, I like Sleepy Hollow. It is my number 4 movie of all time. Number 3, The Shining, 1980. Another Stanley Kubrick film. This is the second Kubrick film on my top 10 list. So yes, I like Kubrick. Another film where it's just kind of a vibe. You're just in a trance. Like for me, I'm just on a ride. Like, it's a very relaxing film to me. I know for like the average person, it sounds weird to say that The Shining is a relaxing film, but it is. It's just a nice, slowly paced film where they go to this hotel and it's chill, and it's 1980, but the film is still very much has that 70s vibe to it. You know what I mean? And so I just dig the slow pacing of it. You slowly learn and piece things together. You're almost experiencing the Overlook Hotel with this family as they experience it. Yeah, there's just something about it. I don't know what it is, but I just have always enjoyed The Shining. I have seen this movie probably 100 times. I finally got to see it in theaters back in September for the, was it the 40th, 50th? I don't know. I don't even know if it was an anniversary or not. It just happened to be in theaters back in September in my area, so I went to go see it. And it was cool. It was cool to see it for the first time in theaters. Number 2, William Friedkin's The Exorcist. If you've watched the channel for any amount of time or long enough, you know The Exorcist is top tier for me. Top tier. I love The Exorcist. I think this film is a masterpiece. I think that it is damn near perfection. And I mean, what is there to say about it just pushed the boundaries. Like, there was nothing like The Exorcist before it. Not even Rosemary. I mean, Rosemary's Baby kind of pushed the envelope, in 1968, 69. But no one had ever seen shit like this in a movie theater. And there were people passing out, and it came out later that it wasn't so much the demonic stuff that was making people pass out. It was the medical scenes and things like that. But man, William Friedkin was a visionary. He was a force to be reckoned with as a director. He just didn't give a fuck, and he did what he wanted. He went with his gut, and this is the best piece of material he ever got handed to him, and he said that himself. William Peter Blatty wrote the book. He wrote the novel that this was based on, and the book was based on an actual exorcism that Blatty learned about while he was going to school. The Exorcist. If you want to know more about what I think about The Exorcist, go check out my Exorcist playlist here on the channel, and I've got a lot of videos on there, full review of the film and breakdowns of The Exorcist on 4K and what I think about all that. So go check that stuff out if you want to know more about what I think about that. And number 1, you're probably thinking, oh my God, what's better than The Exorcist? My number 1 is 1999's film directed by Roman Polanski, starring Johnny Depp, The Ninth Gate. And you're probably thinking, really? Better than The Exorcist? Yeah, I don't know. I can't explain it really either. But I just really love The Ninth Gate, man. You got Johnny Depp, who's a book detective, who's hired by, one of his clients. His client is a Satanist who has a book called The Nine Gates of the Kingdom of Shadows. And he's like, look, I want you to go in and examine the other 2 copies, make sure that, mine's not a fraud, or, just go authenticate this shit. And so you have a film where Johnny Depp is like sent on an errand to go authenticate these satanic books over in Europe. He gets a little too in over his head. These cults come and try to like, they don't want him. They feel like he's meddling too much. They want his copy of the book. They're willing to kill for it. They don't want to sell their copies. They don't. And so you just have a fish out of water situation, really, where Johnny Depp just gets in over his head with these cults over in Europe. So it's a nice little, like, European vacation with Johnny Depp, where he's like sitting around analyzing, you know, the text and images in these books. He's smoking, a lot of smoking. Johnny Depp smokes like a fuck ton of cigarettes in this movie, like like a lot. So he's just smoking and he's drinking wine, and he's like, you know, he's got this blonde lady who's following him around. You're not sure what's up with her. Like, is she in on this? Like, what's her deal? And so there's just like this thriller mystery going on, and it also has just that laid back, like I can put this on and just chill and go on like a nice little relaxing European vacation with Johnny Depp smoking cigarettes and trying not to get killed by cults. And I think it's a good time. I never tire of this movie. I've seen it numerous times. I own it I have 2 copies of the VHS, and I have a Blu-ray as well. Big fan of the film. So I really like the DVD color grading. I know this is weird to get into, but the best way to watch this film is the DVD. The DVD has the best color grading because it's warm, it's natural. The Blu-ray, although slightly more detail than the DVD, is very DNR'd and waxy, and they drained a lot of the color out of it. It's more of a cool aesthetic. I also have a video on that on my channel too, so feel free to look that up. But yes, The Ninth Gate is my favorite film of all time. This list has not changed in 10, 15 years, okay? So now the order of them maybe has over time, but I went through the other day and I thought, okay, which ones do I really like? I know my top 10, but which ones, and I know for sure my top 3 in their order, but after that, which ones do I really like more than the other? And some of these were splitting hairs, you know what I mean? Some of these were splitting hairs, but all in all, guys, that's it. That's my top 10 films of all time. That's right. So let me know down in the comments below what you think about my ranking of my top 10, and let me know down in the comments below what your top 10 films are of all time. Have a good one, peasants. Peace out. Bye-bye.